Hey everybody, Robbie Straczynski here for CardPlayerLifestyle.com, and we are here in Southern Florida, sunny Southern Florida, at the Seminole Hard Rock for the WPT series with Matt Savage, legendary poker director. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great.
Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you. So before we start, I have to ask you though, can I please have your cell phone? We don't no cell phones during interviews.
Exactly.
Okay. No.
Yeah, I've already turned it off.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that question later because I'm sure all of you guys are curious about that one. But let's start with something else. You're one of the more familiar faces on the industry side of poker. But a lot of people, and myself included, don't really know how you got your start in the industry, in the game. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I came up basically through the ranks. I started off as a chip seller.
A chip seller?
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So you have somebody calls for chips.
Okay.
I would bring them to the table.
Oh, I thought like out of the trunk of your car, like those sets of chips.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say I got that job because I was a bad player, and I wanted to get into the industry because I saw that the people that were working there were making a lot more money than I was playing.
Gotcha.
And more than I was making in my current job, which was a service technician for an alarm company. So that's how I got into it, and out of that I wanted to become a poker dealer, which I did for a while.
Where?
And that's at Bay 101, where I had my first dealing job. But my first job was at a place called Garden City in San Jose. And out of that, I developed carpal tunnel. So unfortunately, I loved dealing poker and liked that interaction with the players. But because of that, I ended up having to go onto the floor. And when I did that, I found a liking to running tournaments. I actually run an annual golf tournament, and I kind of, out of running that tournament, I had the idea of that I would actually enjoy running poker tournaments as well.
Interesting.
And so I did that at Bay 101 as an assistant.
Okay.
And then took the full-time job up at Lucky Chances in Colma, California.
Right.
During that time.
Wow.
Out of that, I was a poker player, as well as playing tournaments around the Bay Area.
Okay.
And everywhere I went, the rules were different. There was no consistency at all.
Of course, right.
So in 2001, I had the idea of going down to the World Series of Poker. It was the first time I walked in and saw the World Series. It was in 2001. And
with the Varconi year, right?
No, that was the year before Varconi. So that would be Carlos Mortensen.
Oh, right. The Matador, right?
Yeah,
okay,
the Matador.
Sure.
And I went up to the tournament director and said, we should try and standardize the rules. He told me, it's been tried before, it's never going to work. And luckily, I was good friends with Linda Johnson and Jan Fisher, and we had an industry conference, and they agreed to tie the TDA, the first TDA summit or conference that we had, onto the back end of that, and started the Tournament Directors Association that year with her help and the help of Dave Lamb and Linda Johnson and Jan Fisher.
Sure.
And out of that, I got invited to run the World Series of Poker in 2002.
And that's that's quite a story. Was it? I mean, you said you played as well. Was there any time that you thought maybe I can be a professional player or do that full time?
I never really felt like I could be a professional because I know what these guys do is tough. It's tough to put in those hours and do those things that they do necessary. That's why I always have a lot of respect for the players, because I feel like I've come from the background of playing poker more than actually working in the industry.
So you know how they feel sitting there, hour after hour, for sure.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you said you're obviously you're a founding member of the TDA, right?
Correct.
So how about a crazy story, so like of like a rule situation which got like ridiculously out of hand or something like that caused you to say, okay, we have to standardize this?
No, I mean, basically it was in the Bay Area. We had forward moving button and a dead button, which is kind of a mundane subject, but basically in Northern California it was all forward moving buttons, and everybody said, when you come to play tournaments in the Bay Area, it's so much different than everything else. So that was one of the big ones early on, and I was a fan of the forward moving button because that's how I learned. When you learn a certain way, you want to continue to do it.
Of course.
And there were so many rules that came up early on that were just so inconsistent. I think it was a problem for the industry itself.
Interesting. Well, all that poker talk aside, I understand that you wanted to be a professional bowler once. Isn't that right? Like the next Walter Ray Williams Jr.?
Yeah, exactly. I was pretty good, but it was a tough way to make a living.
I see.
You weren't going to become a professional bowler and just come right out there and make a bunch of money.
So
you needed sponsors, you needed all those things. Same kind of like poker, like you the same thing.
Interesting.
There was a lot of travel involved. And,
well, how far did you proceed? Like, did you get to AAA bowls, whatever the equivalent is?
Yeah,
in
we
bowling?
had something called the PCCB in the Bay Area, which was basically the people that averaged over 200 for a certain amount of time, and that's where I was at.
Okay.
And, I did okay in a couple of those, but nothing of the PBA level. But
I see. You ever get a 300 game?
I do. I have about 25 300s.
25? But you get like framed, you have your name on the bowling alley?
They actually give you a ring, and they give you a plaque or certificate. They get the bowling pin itself and write it on there. But
you have 25 rings?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had 6 rings, but I also had a lot of, we bowled in leagues and stuff like that that weren't sanctioned. Since they weren't sanctioned, that didn't count as technical.
I see.
300.
But someone with like picks or didn't happen, that sort of thing?
No.
Okay.
No. Exactly.
Okay, very cool. I imagine you still do so for fun, go for a nice bowling on a Sunday.
Occasionally, I have some people that down at the Commerce, they play, they go out and bowl once in a while. I go and join them, but nothing serious, no real competitions. But
gotcha.
There's always some money at stake, though.
Right. No, it's always fun. Okay. Well, I'm sure you're like, oh yeah, I've never bowled in my life, and you used to be a professional, that sort of thing.
No, I would never do that.
Right. So you mentioned Beta 101, you've mentioned the Commerce, and of course we're here at WPT, the Seminole. You seem to be associated with quite a number of places. Where exactly? Like, what's your job? Are you a full-time employee, or you're an independent contractor? A mercenary tournament director?
I am
the highest bidder.
Executive tour director of the World Poker Tour. So with that comes a lot of responsibility, working with different partners and working with different casinos and working with different individuals. And in addition to that, I run poker tournaments. I'm a tournament director for the Commerce Casino, Bay 101, Thunder Valley. I travel to the Grey Eagle, and I come out here from time to time as well and work with the great people here at Seminole Hard Rock that do such a great job already. Luckily, I've had such a relationship with William Mason, who runs the tournament, who runs the poker room
here,
and and Tony Burns, who runs the tournament. So they invite me out to kind of work with them through a kind of a liaison between the WPT and them, and it's been a great relationship, and I'm glad that started.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I'm sure you have the similar sorts of things in Commerce as well?
No, Commerce, I'm a contractor. So I actually go out there and I work with the people there at the Commerce, the staff and the dealers and the management there to make sure that we have great events, and that's kind of where I'm based most of the time. 3 months a year I'm there.
Okay.
And keep busy doing that as well.
And I guess if there's this crazy situation where people getting into an argument and the tournament directors just don't know what to do, it's 3 a.m, you just pick up the phone and call Matt?
Basically that's what's the case. Or they go through Twitter, Facebook, email, text,
certainly,
whatever.
Yeah, very responsive, right?
Yes.
Well, about phones, all right? So we opened up with that funny joke, of course, and I'm sure this is a question a lot of people are very curious about. So you're going to have this hashtag social experiment very soon, and let me get the list right. You're banning electronic devices, hoodies, sunglasses, watches, card protectors, hearing aids, and pacemakers, right?
No.
The
pacemakers can stay.
Pacemakers can stay. Okay.
And the hearing aids can also stay.
Okay.
But the big four.
Gotcha.
The big four are electronic devices, headphones, hoodies, and sunglasses.
Okay. So what prompted the experiment? Why? What did you decide to do this all of a sudden?
A lot of it comes from our photographers, that are work out on the thing. They work very hard and they do a lot of things that help promote the game. And one of the things that they come up against all the time is they can never get a good photo of anybody because they're always staring at their phone. And I'm a big offender of that myself.
Right.
And unfortunately, in my life, I've become too dependent on it. So I know what it's like. And exactly. Exactly. And that's basically my life too. So I would love to see a tournament, and we're going to try it out April 29th at the Commerce Casino, where we have none of those things allowed at the table.
Do you see this becoming... Oh, okay, let's say it's great and everyone loves it. Do you see yourselves doing it more, or maybe just an annual event? Or
it would probably be a one-off, maybe once or twice a year. It would never become standard because, again, we are in the digital age, and there's a lot of people out there that feel that we're trying to restrict their freedom by not allowing these things, and people have become accustomed to using them at the table. And while I think that there's too much of it, I do think that we're never going to get everybody on board with that.
Gotcha. So how are there going to be live updates? No live stream? Just going to be held in a cave or something?
I'm going to be on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Just the players. Okay.
Right. People have been trying to get me to do that as well. It's going to be tough. I got to Periscope and Snapchat.
Sure, of course. Facebook Live, all that stuff. Yeah, I got you. Right. On Twitch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been around for quite a while. You've done a lot of things in poker. What's on your bucket list still?
What's on my bucket list still?
Poker-wise,
I think that eventually I will run my own series.
Really?
The
Matt Savage
series.
That's pretty cool.
Hopefully in the
You
Bay
heard it
Area.
here first.
You heard
Okay.
it here first. I've got some support from people about doing that, so
Mm-hmm.
I think I might do that at some point with the focus on fun. I really want to have fun at the tournament. I really think that it's something that we should do more of, is do more fun tournaments, more experiments like we're doing with the social experiment. And luckily I've had the support of management wherever I've worked to try new things, and decided to keep trying those things.
Right, and this would be for like the everyday weekend warriors, or for like high rollers, or that sort of thing?
Probably be a little bit of both, but
Okay.
I think for sure the weekend warriors, because they are the the people that are most
The
important.
lifeblood,
in
I
the industry.
guess,
Yeah,
of
they are,
poker.
definitely.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay. So we're approaching the end of our interview here. Let's talk about the Poker Hall of Fame for a moment.
Okay.
There are two types of people who are inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame: players, obviously, and builders. Right. So you made it as a finalist in the last couple years, and I think a lot of people would agree it's only a matter of time. The question is, it is going to happen. What does an honor like that mean to you after all your years of service in the industry?
Oh, I would definitely want to leave a legacy in the industry. I think that it's important that people like myself get in there, because in the end we're trying to do things for the players that are actually also making it into the World Series, or into the Poker Hall of Fame. But I think that in the end it's going to be something that I'd like to leave my family, and it's important to me because I really believe that I've done a lot for the industry and trying to promote the industry and make it better. And I think that over the last 20 years that some of the things I've done have stuck and become a part of poker lore and the poker industry. So, I would take that as a great honor. I take it as an honor to get nominated. And of course, I'd love to get in. And Todd Brunson stole my spot last year.
Well, there you go, Todd. Well, I guess that finishes the poker elements of this, and now we'll go a little bit more into the lifestyle. A few weeks ago, you just announced, nice big picture of your feet on a scale, that you went under 200 pounds for the first time in, 20 years, something like that?
20 years. I've been a fat ass for a long time. Okay. And I still am, basically.
So what inspired you to make, it doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, it takes time to make that change and reduce your weight by that much. What inspired you to say, let's do this?
My family. I think that my wife Marianne and my son and my daughter Risa Ann are important to me, and I want to try and get back into good health and stay healthy for them, so that I'll be around a little bit longer. And I've always carried around too much weight, and I know you can tell by yourself you're doing the same thing.
Thanks.
It's a tough thing to do, and
yes,
I've reached out to different people and talked to different people about doing things, but really it's been my wife Marianne and Tim West actually gave me the idea of trying this juicing in the mornings, which I've been doing every day for like almost 70, 80 days now.
Wow, okay.
And cutting out a lot of the carbs at night and just trying to, again, get into better shape.
Good for you, man.
Did that all without going to the gym, but now I've been trying to go a little bit when I can.
Wow.
Because I was working
right.
like almost 3
So
months
that's
straight.
just the nutritional element so far.
Element.
Wow, so
which
you can
I believe
still,
about 80% of it.
Okay, yeah, but still, like with you throw in some cardio and some working out a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't do any of it.
Wow,
I didn't do any, but I was on my feet quite
making
a lot.
me jealous, man.
Yeah.
I've been running a lot and it's not working for me.
Right.
Okay. Well, you mentioned your family, obviously, and I think it's beautiful. I'm a family man myself. You attribute your success to your wife, your children, that sort of thing. A lot of people can identify with that, and I know myself. Again, I've got 3 kids. It's hard to juggle it and to be on the road so much and to do all of the work that you do and have a family and be involved. How do you do it? Like, how do you sort of strike a balance?
Well, I'm lucky, again, and my wife, Marianne, is super strong, and she's basically taken the time that I've been away to run the family. She runs the household. She keeps everybody in contact, and she comes out on the weekends, brings my son when my daughter's working, or the whole family comes out and sees me at these stops. And luckily, I've been able to manage it to where they can come out and be a part of wherever we're doing. Whenever I take a trip and they're able to come, it's great, because I usually try and tie a day on before and after to see the area or do whatever we're doing. And luckily my son has been able to travel with me quite a bit and see the world as well. So
That's
I think
really
that's
cool.
an eye-opener for him as well.
Well, so I guess they get like first-hand eye view of you being at all these poker events, and I guess they're under 21, so you managed to sneak them onto the carpet.
Correct.
Right?
My daughter is now over 21.
Okay.
Regan's 21. My son Marco is only 10. So.
Okay. Well, so they see what you do. Poker is a very interesting, unique type of profession, and on the industry side of things. So, how do they relate to it? What sort of feelings do you have about them saying, "Oh, my dad loves this poker thing. That's pretty cool. I want to do it myself one day." How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, my son has not shown much interest in it. My daughter tried to think about maybe going to work with me at some point, but she's doing her own thing, and she's way smarter than I am. So I think that she'll probably go a different path as well. I wouldn't stop them from wanting to become in the industry as they are, but I don't think that they have that desire as of right now.
Right, I can understand. Well, you've been here with me, Robbie Straczynski, and bowling legend Matt Savage. So I really appreciate that you took the time. A golf legend, and soon to be Poker Hall of Famer Matt Savage. One day, I'll be voting for him if I get a vote. And you can find you on Twitter. You're at Savage Poker. Is that right?
Savage Poker is correct.
And I'm at Card Player Lifestyle. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Robbie.